Welcome to the Wealth Stream Podcast. The team at Hightower Great Lakes share their insights and passions for empowering their clients to live their best life. In this energetic podcast, we will take you on a journey to help you navigate your financial future, overcome life's challenges to reach your financial goals, and find the financial clarity you've been searching for. Let's explore the downstream impact of your wealth and what it means to you, your family, and your community to live greater.
Hello and welcome to the inaugural podcast for Tim Scannell. Tim has been in the financial services industry for over 30 years and has done a great job of building a business in a wonderful community. And today you're going to get the opportunity to learn more about Tim, what he does, how he works with his clients, and how he integrates his business into the community. So I hope this is going to be eye-opening and informative, and it'll give you a greater glimpse of who Tim is as a person and as a business person. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you.
All right. The first part of our questionnaire here is really about your business, and I would love to hear more about it. So I've got some questions I'm going to ask you. Why did you decide to work in the financial services? Tell us a little bit about your history.
I studied accounting in college because I wanted to be a CPA. Then I became a CPA, worked in public accounting for about 18 months, and realized that I just didn't want to be a historian. I just wanted to be more proactive and, help guide people's future financially. So I researched and identified financial planning. At the time, it was a somewhat new profession in 1986. But that's kind of the basis of how I joined, or why I chose this, because I like planning, I like finance, and I like working with people.
Great. Speaking of which, who do you work with? What is your specialty?
I like to work with entrepreneurs and business owners because they're decision makers. They generally need and want the proactive, comprehensive planning that we offer. And I just enjoy working with different types of clients all the time, and each client is unique because they're typically in different industries, different businesses, different stages, etc. It's fun to me.
Absolutely. What do you do for your clients?
Generally, I try to help them create a path for success, and success could mean a lot of different things. It really just depends on the client. But we spend a lot of time gathering goal and financial information, family information, in an attempt to try and find out if they're on path for successfully achieving those goals. So sometimes the goal could be retirement, exit planning, restructuring a business, growth, paying for college, etc. But what we really do is we help them get on a path for success, then we help them monitor and make sure they stay on path.
Now, Tim, there's a lot of different type of business owners out there, from Bill Gates to a mom and pop shop down the street. Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is generally a family-owned business. I historically have worked with first generation, although I have some second and third generation clients. But generally, they are family businesses, and as a result, we do a lot of generational wealth planning, family dynamic planning, things like that.
Tim, how do you acquire your new clients?
All of our clients that we work with have come from referrals from existing clients or referrals from CPAs and attorneys that might be working with those people. We don't really advertise or market. All the people come from referrals.
Referrals are fantastic. What kind of client education do you do?
I'd say that the education that we provide with clients are generally very specific to the individual client. We don't do a lot of general seminars or things like that. Once I determine what specific needs and goals and maybe problems that the clients might have, I work with the client to educate them about the issues and some of the options and solutions that they might be able to, take advantage of. So it's very client specific. The only caveat to that is we do focus a lot on working with the next generation and preparing heirs and charities to receive some of the wealth that clients ultimately will pass. So in that case, we do a lot of general education, but typically it's specific to a client.
It sounds like you've got a good range of clients, and nobody can do this completely by themselves. So who's on your team and what do they do?
We've specifically focused on creating a team of certified technical experts with different expertise. We have CPAs and certified financial planners on the team. We have some communication specialists, and then we have 3 or 4, operations people. The key for our team, as compared to maybe other advisor groups or other firms, are everyone in this office, everyone on this team works for each client. So we don't have our own siloed group of clients in the firm. We all do proactive, comprehensive planning for each client.
Working with businesses as you do, it probably keeps you pretty plugged in. What do you do in the community?
The work that we do in the community is twofold. Number one, we don't do any marketing or advertising, but we do a lot of sponsorships. We sponsor events for different nonprofits in the community, so we stay active that way.
Great.
In addition, everybody on the team typically selects 1 or 2 favored charities. We try to get everybody active on boards of different nonprofits. So we try to really stay active in the community through various nonprofits.
Mm-hmm. What designations or advanced education do you have?
I became a CPA right out of college. I'm a certified public accountant. And back in 1986, I also became a certified financial planner. So I'm a CFP.
That brings us to a great question. What is your financial philosophy?
My financial philosophy revolves around helping people identify transition points that they want to plan for. So those transition points could be changing careers, growing a business, exiting a business, paying for college, downsizing, planning for aging parents. We spend a lot of time identifying very specific transition points for each client and then helping them get on path for success. I would say that would be my financial philosophy. We try not to do just general plans. We make them very specific and custom to different transition points that each client might have.
Thank you for sharing about how you kind of formed your business and what it's all about. Now, part 2 of this podcast, I want to get a little personal. Is that okay with you?
Sure, that sounds good.
And the questions are a little more fun a lot of times. So,
okay.
When you are not working, what do you do for fun?
My wife Nancy and I have raised 5 children. We became empty nesters a couple years ago. So most of the time we spend outside of work is, I guess, chasing them around the country, going to see them. We like to travel. Personally, I like to fly fish. I like to go fishing up in Canada once a year just to get away and not have any cell phones ringing. And other than that, a lot of the things we do for fun really revolve around activities in the community that we do with our friends here in Valparaiso and Porter County, Indiana.
Fishing is definitely on my list. What do you fish for up there?
When we go to Canada, we fly to Winnipeg and then go a couple hours north on a flight. And typically it's walleye and then northern. So we'll fish for 8, 10, 12 hours a day. It's a blast.
Wow, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
There's a little bit of jealousy from this end of the mic, I'll tell you that right now. Who is your hero, Tim? If you had to pick somebody, who is your hero?
What I love to read about, what I love to follow, what I love to learn about is business and entrepreneurship. So really, the heroes that I have are several of my clients that I work for who I've worked with and watched grow businesses, create wealth, but create jobs, create economic opportunity for families in the community. Really, most of my heroes are clients, some of the business owner clients that I work with.
Great. I think all of us have asked ourselves this question, especially if we're married. I'm married, and my wife and I have asked each other this question quite often. But now I'm asking you, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do?
Well, my wife and I have talked about doing some speaking together. We both like public speaking, and we both think if we're not working anymore, if we're in retirement or had all the money we needed, we would figure out a way to go out there and communicate some of the things we've learned and hopefully help people.
Who is your favorite person in history and why?
I was born and raised in Chicago, and I grew up watching the Bears during the Walter Payton era. And I just, I guess nobody really knows who celebrities are, but from all appearances, he not only was just a very hard worker, very successful, but he appeared to be a really good family person. So I've always thought that Walter Payton is somebody that he's probably one of my favorite people I like to read about.
I think that's a great choice.
Yeah.
Tim, what is your idea of success?
My idea of success is if I look around and I see that my family, my friends, my clients, they're all moving forward towards finding their why, trying to, figure out what they want to be, where they want to be going, and they're happy doing it.
So speaking of clients, families, and friends, what's the one thing that you recommend to them most?
Probably to my friends and my friends' chagrin. I'm such a planner. I'm such a recovering accountant that I always like to really make sure people are on path. That they have a plan for whatever that is they're thinking about. So the one thing I recommend most for my clients, friends, family is to identify goals and have a plan. And if it's not written, it doesn't exist.
Got it. This next question is one of my favorites. Name one thing most people don't know about you.
Okay. My son is a stand-up comedian in Los Angeles, and he's a Hollywood star in my mind. But
great.
The one thing I would love to do at some point is do some stand-up. So I don't think
Really?
I've ever told anyone, but now it's public. So there.
Next podcast is all stand-up comedy, Tim. I'm going to put you on the spot.
There's not too many accountants who are doing it, so I don't know if I'll be any good at it.
You may find the perfect niche right there.
Sure.
Tim, what is your mantra, motto, or something you say to yourself to keep yourself focused on track?
My wife has run, 12, 13 marathons. And several years back, I trained for 4 years, and the first marathon I tried, I got halfway through, and then they canceled it because it was so hot. It was a Chicago Marathon. They actually canceled it halfway through. But then a couple years later, I tried it again, and I did finish. And I think from that process, I've always had the mantra, just push through it. Even when days are long and things are tough, or you're trying to reach a goal that's far away, I just always think push through it, and you'll get it.
Good advice. What is your proudest achievement?
I have to say, sincerely, it's really that I've been married to Nancy since 1985, and she's put up with me. And that I do have 5 wonderful children, and I have just great friends. So to me, that truly is my greatest achievement.
Legacy is a fantastic achievement.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. You have the attention of a ton of people out there. Who should listen to this podcast, and how should they reach out to you or your office?
I think that the people who should listen are either existing entrepreneurs, business owners, or people thinking about doing it. And it doesn't mean you have to be in a business. I mean, you could actually operate within a corporation and be entrepreneurial. But if you have any sort of entrepreneurial bent, I think you should listen to this podcast. And if you need to reach me, you can go to my website, call me, reach me via email, whatever's easier.
All right. Do you have any closing thoughts for us, Tim, before we wrap up this podcast?
No, I think that's it. This is my first attempt, so I think I'll stop right there.
Well, for an attempt, it was fantastic. Thank you for listening to Tim's first podcast with Tim Scannell. Down below, you will find a way to subscribe to this podcast. Please click and subscribe now. This way, when Tim comes out with a new podcast, it'll show up directly on your listening device. It also makes it much, much easier to share these podcasts with your friends and family. Thank you so much for listening today. This is Eric Johnson reminding you to live your best day every day. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Wealth Stream podcast. We hope you gained some valuable insight that you can apply to your life and share with others. Please don't forget to subscribe below to be notified when new episodes become available. And don't forget to live greater. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Hightower Great Lakes. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning. Hightower Great Lakes is a group of investment professionals registered with Hightower Securities LLC, member FINRA and SIPC, and with Hightower Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Securities are offered through Hightower Securities LLC. Advisory services are offered through Hightower Advisors LLC.